Welcome to the Dual Force, where mental health and physical health finally stop being treated like strangers.
This is a podcast we wish we had earlier in our lives, built to save you time, confusion, and a whole lot of unnecessary struggle. This is a disclaimer. This podcast is here to educate, empower, and spark insight, but it's not a substitute for personalized medical or mental health care. Everyone's body and mind are different. If something resonated with you and you want individualized support, reach out to us or connect with a licensed provider you trust.
Welcome back!
We made it to May.
We made it to May! And it snowed in Colorado yesterday.
It sure did. Yeah.
We needed that moisture.
We sure did.
I know everyone's joking about that, but we really did.
That's the talk of the town over here in Colorado, for those of you who don't live here.
Yes.
It was nuts when Mike and I got off the plane on Monday. I was like, oh, it's raining hard. It was like the rain where it was very cold and a little rough. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's going to turn into snow. And sure enough, a full snow day.
It was beautiful. I loved it.
It was. It was a really nice work from home day.
It's perfect. I love it.
Yes. So besides your snow day, our snow day, how's life been for you?
I feel like things are just moving really fast.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in a bad way,
but
it's been good, I think.
Yeah.
It's hard. I feel like when we think of memory and we try to, like, short-term memory, I feel is becoming harder and harder to like keep track of when we do multiple things in our days. Yeah. I think we were talking before we started recording. It was like, I don't know what I did this weekend. Like, I really had to sit there and think about it. And then I was like, oh yeah, I did this and I did this. And then I was home and I did work.
Yeah. It does feel like the days just like they do fly by so fast, and you stay busy throughout the whole day. And then the next day is like, or maybe not even the next day, like the day of, you're anticipating the next day.
Absolutely. Constantly planning and moving forward instead of like being present in our lives.
It's something we obviously need to practice.
I've done it before. I know I can do it again.
Yeah. And I love that you're so intentional, though, because even we were talking about your mindful movement class that you're doing on Saturday. Like, that is a wonderful opportunity to be present for just an hour.
Yeah.
With yourself and with a community that, wants to be engaged.
Absolutely.
In your own presence, too.
And it's such a good reminder for me, too, because I always used to do, like, a mindfulness activity before I'd work out. The last year, I hadn't really been working out. And when I did, it was like rushed and like thrown into my day of where I had time or where I was like, okay, I have to do it now or it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to sit down in community and go through that together, and maybe can start incorporating that into my day-to-day life again.
I love it. Yeah. Maybe this is the boost that you need for this year.
I think
just
so.
To like, take off with it.
That's so true. And how was your weekend? You had another trip.
It did. Back to back here. It was awesome. We flew into Miami and had the F1 race Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We were there all day long. So it was nothing but cars and very fancy people. What I wasn't expecting was that like the environment to feel like a festival.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So like there are the main events that do happen, Formula One related events. And then outside of the track, they have like music playing, they have pop-up shops, food, drinks, just a lot of socializing with people. So that was really fun.
That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah. And the cars are awesome. Like just to see them up close and like your favorite drivers racing by, you're like, oh my God, I love you. Like, I'm here to support you. You have no idea who I am, but I'm here.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It was very hot though, just compared to like living here over the last almost 4 years and then going back to South Florida. That was kind of brutal.
South Florida is another whole animal.
It is. It is. I don't miss it. Like that. Not like I don't miss the weather there. It's just crazy.
It's so affirming when you move away and you go back and you're like, no, actually, I don't want to be here.
Right. Yeah. I'm here for the fun part of it, and then I'm back to like Colorado where I want to be.
Exactly. I'm so glad you had a good trip.
Thank you.
I went to a concert.
Oh, you went to a concert?
On the 1st.
What was that, Friday?
It's about a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and this is going to relate to our topic of today.
Ooh, I love that.
Okay. Because we just finished our mini-series on asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to lighten it up a little bit today. So I went to a concert, and it's like DJ, like EDM sort of concert. Mm-hmm. It's two friends. If anybody knows who they are. So fun. They always put on a good show at Red Rocks. And this year they did like a throwback set, and they did their like headline set. So we got to hear them twice. It was so much fun.
Oh, that's cool.
But I saw them 2 years in a row. And which is, I never do that. But I had an opportunity, and I was like, yeah, I'll go. And I'm so glad I did, because this year was better than last year.
Oh,
last year, someone had given me a fidget spinner. And it had like the pop things on each end.
Oh, yeah.
Last year, it poured through that whole concert.
Oh my gosh.
Minus the first set.
It sounds that way.
The music was great, though.
Yeah.
And so I brought it with me this year. And I was like, I'm going to give this away to somebody, because like, I don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been sitting like in the fanny pack that I bring to Red Rocks. But I ended up like spinning it and like dancing with it all night, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
I didn't end up giving it away because I didn't find anybody that was like, oh, you need this.
Yeah.
So maybe next year.
Well, put it right back in the fanny pack
Right?
and hold on to it, because there might be somebody you're like, that's the person that deserves this fidget spinner.
Exactly. It's just a feeling. You know?
Wait, how did the fidget spinner like help you think in that moment where like you were dancing and like really into the
I found it so, I mean, EDM shows, and we can dive into this in another episode, but like the way that it can help regulate your nervous system is so cool. Mm-hmm. But then also having a physical component that wasn't just me dancing,
right,
that was pretty steady.
Mm-hmm.
It was really fun, because I would just like hold it, and I had to spin it because I think it was rusted from the last concert. But it's still spun. It just didn't spin without me manually spinning it. I would just like kind of feel the vibration of it spinning the whole time, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And I just like, and if I moved my arm, it felt different. And yeah, it was cool. You know, physics.
Yeah. Well, and it's grounding too, because you're using multiple sensations in order to like ground yourself in that moment.
Absolutely.
There was a lot going on, like dancing and then the vibration and then the visual aspect of it. So
yeah,
music.
Yeah, and people. I think there were 10,000 people. It was a sold out show.
Wow.
So it was
very cool.
Wild.
That's amazing.
It was so fun though.
That's a wonderful segue into like our topic for today.
I try my best.
I love it. Good job. Good job.
Thank
you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So fidgets.
Yeah, fidgets. There are so many options these days.
So many. When I was doing some of the research for this episode, I was like, when did I first become aware of fidgets in my life? It was in 2014 or 15, and I was working as a behavioral technician in a school with special education kids.
Okay.
And I walked into the classroom one day, just very freshly hired, like this was my orientation. So I walked in, and there were no desks in this classroom at all. There were only wobbles, and then they had like these little like lap kind of like desk things where you have like pockets on the side, and then the kids can use like the front to write on and stuff. The kids who did have like a desk had like this bungee thing underneath. And I was like, that's incredible. So these kids are utilizing these fidgets in order to stay focused and to exert some of the energy that they had pent up within their classroom to make it so that they can learn and focus.
I love that you found a classroom like that.
It was
long ago.
Yeah, 2014. And like, I think that a lot of classrooms now are like moving towards that direction, and this was a specialty school for kids who really needed it. We're seeing definitely a trend in that within schools too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is so needed.
I hadn't even thought about like when was the first time we saw fidgets. Like the most common fidget I feel like we hear of is like clicking a pen. And I do remember that being something that like teachers in elementary school and like grade school would just be through the roof. Like, stop clicking your pen.
Yep. Been there.
Yeah. And I get it too, but there are also times especially now as an adult and an entrepreneur, like I will find that I'm like looking for a steady rhythm or something that I can do, and it just helps me prevent that like floating off into multiple thoughts and tasks without completing anything.
Right.
The science backs that now.
It does. It does. It's there. There's so much research that's done with this idea of fidgets and how they're, they utilize them for kids or adults even who've been diagnosed with ADHD, people who are on the spectrum, and those fidgets are very different. A fidget that you give someone on a spectrum versus someone who is diagnosed with ADHD is going to be very different, which is interesting to know too.
That is interesting. I want to know more.
Yeah. So with ADHD, and I can personally speak to this because I was diagnosed not that long ago, but as a kid, I'm pretty sure it was, an ADHD kid, just more internal. So I would find myself searching, like you mentioned, like searching for that thing. And my thing in school was like flipping through the books and just feeling the paper back and forth from the books, or like the sensation of just moving it back and forth.
Yep.
As I was doing that, I was able to focus on the task at hand because what my body was telling me that I had so much energy, and in school, as we know, like we can't just get up and walk around.
No.
And there were no cool classrooms like what I'd walked into in 2014.
Right.
So it was finding what I could. I think a lot of you also probably leaned back in your chair as a way to have a movement of just, getting that energy out.
Yeah. And I think that's really important to think about too, is like our bodies are made to move. And then our culture has created a factory. So they want us to just sit and get things done, and then they don't care once you're done.
Right.
We desire movement at all times. Like you don't have to have like a diagnosis of any kind. Your body wants to move because that's what feels most comfortable.
It's so true. Yeah, we're not supposed to be stagnant in one place for those poor kids. Poor us, right? Like for 8 hours a day, just sitting in a hard seat. Sometimes the seat was attached to the desk itself, so there was no movement. There was no leaning back in the chair.
Best desks, though. Nice little pop desk.
Yeah. We're fidgeting with that, right? We have to find a way to move.
Yeah.
It's hard for kids to, for anybody to sit that long. So that's why breaks are really important. Or even like as an adult who has a job that requires you to sit there for myself, an hour, right? I can discreetly have a fidget, especially on camera when I'm seeing my clients virtually, and play with that.
Absolutely.
No. Actually, one of my favorite ones is my massager for my chair. So it's like, it's still movement in my back. Like I'm able to twist a little bit and move. No one knows.
Yeah.
No one can hear it. No one can see it.
Yeah. I used to have a ring, and it had like 3 pieces to it, but you could like roll it. And so that was so enjoyable. And then it turned my hand green, so I realized. But I think about that ring often.
Yeah. Maybe it's time for another one.
Or something like it.
Yeah. There's some really cool companies that like they'll make the rings or like the pens. Have you seen them with the balls? And you just twist a ball, and you're not clicking the pen, but it's more.
But you're still getting that,
you're getting that sensation of it too.
Do you remember the cubes that came out? The fidget cubes?
Yeah, I do. I have one of those.
Do you
too.
have? Yeah, I had one. I have no idea where it went. We had like the spin. It had the buttons and the. Oh yeah, that was very enjoyable.
All of it.
Yeah.
Those things are grounding, right? Like when we have an anxious body or, body that is on the go, something as simple as that can release a lot of that energy. Yeah. And so that's like fidgets for anxiety and ADHD.
We tangented.
Right.
Let's go back to the spectrum.
The spectrum is going to be more grounding and stability, right? So the wobble chairs are really good. The bungee underneath the desk is really good. Sometimes even like stress balls, right? So sometimes when people are in a moment, they need to like release their anger, right? Or stress onto a stress ball. So that's really helpful too. I think for a lot of the kids who were on the spectrum in that particular classroom, there was just a lot of different seat options for them. Sensory. Sensory was the other
I was
thing.
going to ask about sensory.
Yeah,
I know about like sensory seeking behavior. Yeah. What do we got for fidgets on that?
So like blankets, anything that has like a rough, soft, rigid, malleable, hot, cold, anything like that would be really helpful. So for instance, like an ice pack would be really cool because you can squish that, and it goes from solid to water. Blankets, pillows. There are some fidgets too that have like different textures on them. Like you're talking about the cube, but different textures around it. So they get to, figure out which one that feels good for them in that moment. Yeah. Really cool.
There's so many options.
There's so many. Yeah. So many. And I think the classic one is probably a stress ball.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most widely known. The fidget spinners.
Yeah,
those had their moment.
They just popped off.
Yeah.
Like everybody had a fidget spinner. If you didn't have one, you weren't cool.
Right. That's so true. Because I feel like we went from like flipping whatever writing utensil through your fingers to
that's
fidget
right.
spinner.
Yes. It was the evolution.
Yes.
Of
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
I know there were like kids that were like spinning on the back of their hand. How did you do that?
Yeah. Like that's talent.
Yeah.
Because of that too, that evolution, I think a lot of folks or adults looking at kids or even adults within themselves, like they don't see fidgets as like a tool. They're seeing it as a toy.
Yeah.
And it really isn't. There is science that backed that particular object that this person needs in order to feel grounded, to be present, to focus, to to be able to function in a way that makes sense for them, or their brain is able to comprehend.
Right. I feel like remember like growing up, like when kids would fidget and teachers would be like, you need to stop, you're distracting the students. But are they really distracting other students, or does that other student also need something to keep them focused?
That's a really great point. Yeah. And it could easily be that both those kids need something to occupy their brain. Because why is that kid wondering about what this kid is doing?
Right.
Yeah. Why is their attention not focused on the task at hand within that classroom? Yeah. But it could go either way.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, it could. Yeah. And we know it can go either way, any way in a classroom, of course, as well. Like, also kids are going from like having free time during the day to having to sit in a classroom for 8 hours a day. It's a pretty dramatic jump.
It really is, yeah. And something that I think is really important too, especially with the trend of fidgets and it being such a wonderful tool, especially in a classroom, is that educators should, educate their students on why these things are needed for certain kids. Because we can cross that line and it can become a toy.
Right.
Like every kid is going to want to play with that cool thing because their friend is. But they don't understand why that's necessary for their friend.
Right.
So you speak it to, within a language that the kids can understand. Yeah.
And I think beyond having like actual physical fidgets, like tapping your foot or bouncing your knee, that's a fidget.
This.
Oh, yeah.
Neck flopping, back roll, all of those are fidgets.
Yeah. You're just trying to move energy out.
Yep. Or even like when people like curl their hair or like twist their hair, that's a fidget too.
Yeah. I was reading something about that. Now I can't remember specifically what I saw, but it was like if you're twirling your hair, like it could, I feel like a long time ago, it was like that's like an anxiety thing. Trying to like stay close to self or something.
Yeah. And we fidget because of anxiety too.
Yeah. Well, that's excess energy.
Yep. Exactly.
We're increasing our heart rate because we're anxious about something and creating this story and spiraling. Let's not spiral.
No, we don't. We don't need to go there.
Just once a week.
Give yourself a time frame if we're going to do it once a week.
Schedule your spiral. I think it's helpful. Just kidding. Let's get to the root cause. A little. But you have those physiological responses to what we're thinking and feeling in our minds. So thinking that what we do to fidget is not related to what's happening in our mind or what's happening in our body is kind of ignorant, I guess is a good word, because it's all connected.
Right.
And there's a reason why you have this desire. It's like cravings. You have cravings, like chocolate is a craving a lot of people have. And that's because of like seeking out certain nutrients that your body needs at that time.
Right.
Which is not as productive as it was maybe like 50 years ago. But it's an evolutionary process that just hasn't evolved with how much we've changed in our lives.
Right. And it's something to just be aware of, because you could have an instance where, like, you know, you were fidgeting as a kid and your parents told you to stop multiple times. So you develop this habit of stopping. Like, you have the urge to do this, but then you retort and you're like, okay, I can't do this because I'm going to get in trouble. You know, and so we still have this belief system that you probably need to work through in order to figure it out and to say, okay, I know I can't just get up from my office chair and run around the office to get some of this excess energy out, but I can get something for myself to release that energy in a way where I can do it at my desk. You know, I can do it on my car ride home. I can do it watching TV. That's a big one. But wherever you need that, like really checking in.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about like what I've done at work. I have a very physical job, but like when I worked for someone else at their clinic, I always had a pen with me because I would write things down if I just like if it didn't fit in the note that I was writing, but I was like, I need to remember this later. And I think I would click a pen, or I'd like tap it or just do something with it. And then I started during my lunch breaks. It wasn't a great situation. This was not a good job for me. I would leave. I would walk a mile like around the building, neighborhood area, every lunch break.
Yeah.
Of course, I only had a 30-minute lunch break and I had to do notes because I didn't get paid for note time. But that's another whole problem. We're not there anymore.
No, we've left that space, thankfully.
But yeah, I think that's we're all fidgeting, and maybe we're fidgeting more than we ever have in our lives, maybe due to our current circumstances.
Yeah, definitely. And that's another thing to be aware of. Like, what is your current circumstance, and is it driving you to, you know, to disassociate, right? And you need something to help you come back to this moment, and feel like you're maybe, you know, in control, or you need a break. And breaks are totally okay. And sometimes I get it. Like, work can be really challenging sometimes, and it's hard to squeeze in just a little bit of time for ourselves. But if you can multitask and you're good with that, then why not introduce a fidget, especially if it's not distracting?
That's so true. Something you just do with your hands, especially if you don't have to be typing.
Yeah,
that's when it becomes a distraction.
Yeah.
I really want to play with that, but I have to be typing.
Right. Yeah. And be intentional. Maybe you give yourself a little break to play with that. You know, you type up your thing, and as you're reading whatever you're typing, you play with the fidget.
Or if you're brainstorming.
It helps with a lot. It really does. It's just to help with that focus. Okay, I can do this and this.
Absolutely. Now I'm like, I really need to go get a fidget. Or Mike should make me a fidget with his 3D
He's
printer.
got a 3D printer. He's made, I wish I would have brought it. It's this little cube. It looks like a Rubik's Cube.
Ooh.
But it's all black. And it like goes in multiple different directions.
That sounds so fun.
But he's made quite a few. He's made a couple for the kids here too that I see.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like, look, I found this file and I can make it and whatever. But
I love it.
So I'll have him make you one. Get him working in the 3D.
Yeah, gotta put him to work.
Seriously. They're really cute and functional, so
yeah,
they work.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
But I've started using like dictation for when I'm brainstorming. So especially if I'm using AI, I'll like have it dictate it for me, and I'm like, this is what I'm thinking, outline it for me, whatever. And that's a lot of time that I could just be fidgeting or something rather than like trying to pull myself into focus when my mind just wants to be like ping ponging everywhere.
Right. That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Since we have all this technology, we were talking about how much technology we had in this room now.
There's like 6 things in here that 3 things are going at once. 5 things are going at once.
Yeah. What are we doing?
Right.
Yeah. Do we need... No.
We need it all.
We need it all. Because that's how we've been conditioned.
Yeah. Yes. I wonder... I mean, we can't change anything, but I wonder how this would look if, like, all these factors in our life, you know, things that didn't change since 2000, whatever, and we are still kind of in that era. Like, how would this look? Would we be able to, like, focus a little more? Or...
I think we would.
You think so?
I really think that we would, because I feel, we've talked about this with you guys. I've been watching 90s sitcoms, 2000 sitcoms. I love watching them. And as soon as more technology is introduced into the shows, I'm like, I'm so sad. Like, a computer pops up in an apartment, or they have to start carrying a cell phone, and I'm like, did we skip the car phone? Or was that just a blip in time, or did that actually, that was a thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It was, yeah.
My neighbor had one. I thought it was the coolest thing.
That's so cool. I think that's really cool.
But you notice a change in like their dynamics. And given that was early on when technology started to be more of a daily use.
Right.
And I feel like I see jokes all the time on social media. It's like, I don't want to do that because I just want to stare at this rectangle and have it tell me how I should feel. Like,
and burn my eyeballs.
Yes. But I'm like, I think it's so funny. But then I'm like, oh, should we change something?
We probably should have changed something like 20 years ago. Yeah. But here we are, you know, and too late.
It's never too late.
We're like, we're doomed.
Excuse me, ma'am. That's not how this works.
No.
No. But I think it requires awareness of your own being.
Yeah.
We've talked about mindfulness and grounding into the body and connecting to self, and especially even during our asking for help series of like learning those signals from our body and then listening and doing, like, taking action,
right?
Asking for help, or like actually doing something that is nurturing to our bodies,
right?
I think this is actually just like another example of asking for help, is utilizing a fidget that helps you focus. It keeps you grounded. And gosh, there was a really good term we were talking about, like cognitive pacing.
Yeah. I love that, because, and I tell this to my clients all the time too, when they're feeling anxious, is just pace, walk back and forth. Your body is needing that bilateral stimulation to be able to connect the left and the right parts of your brain so that it can think rationally. You know, if we turn to our phone and start scrolling because we're feeling anxious, because that's something that we, you know, it's an unhealthy coping mechanism is what that is. So if we turn to that, then we're not really paying attention to the physical movement of our body.
Well, it's like that artificial dopamine too.
Yeah, it is.
And that's why we feel like crap afterwards.
Yeah. You're drained. Your mind just is not equipped to withstand so much of that. You know, it really does need to be physically engaged. You know, and think about it, like, even, and you could speak to this, even going for a run when you have a lot on your mind, like, how much better do you feel mentally when you get back from that run?
So much.
Right?
And I think even like being physically active or like running, something that you don't have to be like really thinking about what you're doing, is a great time to just allow your brain to process. Especially if it's something that you've been maybe on the verge of spiraling about, or you just like cannot piece it together, and you go on a run, you remove yourself from the situation that needs to be done, and then it clicks. And just too much stimulus in our lives at all times.
Always. And we don't want you to get rid of your technology.
No.
You need it, right? Clearly we need it. It's in our lives. It's going to stay. But we need to find a good balance for it.
Absolutely.
When do we need this technology? And talking about work, school, things like that. We need it for this particular thing. But also, where's the balance where our need is to be out in nature and to be physically engaged and active, or our need to pick up a fidget and not our phone?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Something else to throw in, like being out in nature, I think it's important to also realize and dedicate time to being out in nature, moving around without a device. I mean, obviously be safe, have it on you if there's no one there to look out for you, but you don't need to be listening to music all the time or a podcast, audiobook. That's just perpetuating the cycle. If you take 30 minutes and you don't have any input into your brain, wild.
I love that you brought that up. I was at the gym a couple of weeks ago and I forgot my headphones. And I was like distraught over it. I was like, this is the worst day ever. So I go in anyway. I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to do the thing. And it was such a mindful workout. Like my brain was so engaged. I was like, okay, I lifted, 85 pounds last week. Can I do 90 today? And just to be so engaged and listening to my body, like that was a game changer. That was awesome. I can't do it every time, but I mean, I could if I put in the work, but I agree. I agree.
I find it so interesting because I ran in college, I ran cross country and track and field, and we were not allowed to have music for any of our runs. And we were running like 7, 8, sometimes 10 miles, and we weren't allowed to listen to music. And sometimes you didn't have people at your pace, so you were just by yourself. And then kind of same idea, like we lifted together, so we had music in the space. But we didn't have music specifically for us in our ears.
Right.
And then when I stopped competing, moving into grad school, it came to my attention that a lot of people couldn't run for 15 minutes without music. And I was like, what do you mean? And I recently started using music with running off and on the last couple of years. And it's enjoyable, but I feel like I have so much more progress on like things that are stuck in my brain, or I'm able to just kind of be in my body and not be stressing about anything besides, just hoping cars don't hit me. But I don't trust people in those very heavy vehicles that go so fast.
Right. But sometimes they don't stop. And they just... Anyway. Yeah.
Not important. Sorry I brought that up. This is why I need to do more trail running.
It's safer.
Unless there's a mountain lion.
Then it's not safer. Maybe. I don't know.
There have been some spottings already this year. It's okay.
Oh, great.
But then that's another example. If you have your headphones in, if you're on a trail, how can you hear if there's wildlife that could be like scared or startled to see you?
Yeah.
You can't.
You can't.
And you shouldn't just have a speaker on your back. I don't want to hear your music when you walk by me.
Yeah. I think the best invention that they came out with, especially for runners, are the shocks. Because you can still hear with the run. Yeah. But you still have to keep the volume at a lower level. So you have the music there, but it's not, as intense as like beats, where everything is like drowned out.
Yeah, I have a pair of shocks.
Yeah.
And that's all over when I run. Which is nice.
Yeah. But, it's also nice. You're going into nature. Leave everything behind. At least once. Try it. You know, and see what the outcome is and compare it. Like,
absolutely.
Is it something you want to try more often? Is it something that, you're like, absolutely not. I'm not doing that ever again.
Yeah. Well, I think you could always, you could come prepared. Start your walk and say, 5 minutes, I'm just gonna be here with my body outside. And then if you're really anxious, you can pull out your headphones again.
Right.
And I've had moments where I will leave my house with headphones on and I take them off within 5 minutes. I'm like, it's too much.
Yeah.
And that's that's options. We have so many options.
We do, yeah. But don't always rely on the same option over and over again. When there's, like you said, there's so many different options out there, and there might be something that works better for you.
And our brains love variability.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. We're not supposed to be stagnant at all.
Say that a little louder.
Don't be stagnant.
You heard her.
We're supposed to grow. Our environment is constantly changing. So we're constantly adapting to our new environments.
Absolutely.
Adaptation and stagnant are not the same thing.
No.
They're very opposite.
Yes. And so an adaptation is like two facets there. Is that a word? Does that make sense? So you've got the fidget to help you focus in work or at school. That's an adaptation to help you have that movement and input from your body, physical body, to help your mind.
Right.
But then there's the adaptation of adapting yourself to the world so that you can move. So that's when I think of like shoes and things like that. But there's also ways to adapt without having to buy more things.
Right. Yeah. If you don't have that within your budget, or that's not even for some people, it's not accessible for them to make it there. But you find ways that work for you that again don't require the scrolling, right? Like
Exactly.
Body.
Like our bodies are made to adapt. We don't have to have things to help us adapt.
Nope.
But if the structure in which we are in requires an adaptation, that like a fidget toy.
Yeah.
It's not a toy, but it's to help you focus.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Absolutely.
And that's why they exist.
That's why they're there. Go to Five Below, the dollar store. Where else? I'm trying to think. I've seen them at Marshall's and TJ Maxx and Walmart and Target and like anywhere. Like you can literally make anything a fidget, even if you don't have the finances to fit that into your life.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we talked about pens.
Yeah. Everybody has a pen. Go
Bouncing
steal one from your neighbor. Like
at the next time you're at the doctor's office,
take a nice pen.
Don't take a pen from a server. They work hard for those pens.
You make them very angry when you do that. Don't do that. That's the only place you're not allowed to steal a pen.
Right. Anywhere else is fine because they're usually branded and they want you to take them.
Right. Yeah. And if you have that extra pen, give it to your server.
If it's a good one. If it's not a good one, then just don't even bother.
But yes, anything can be a fidget.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about on fidgets?
I don't think so.
I think they did a good job.
I don't think so. Yeah.
I would love to hear if any of you have a fidget, what your favorite fidget is in the comments. And yeah, we'll get rid of the shame. It's not worth it.
Nope.
Fidgets are here because we have a lot of input.
Yeah.
You can tell everyone that.
Yeah. And more people need them than not.
Yes.
They do. So yeah, let us know what you think. If there's something that we forgot about or forgot to mention, or you think that's really important for us to talk about, comment. Let us know what's happening in your world, or if you have suggestions for a fidget. Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to The Dual Force. Your mind and body are always in conversation, whether you notice it or not. Start listening. And if today's episode sparked something in you, pass it along to someone who needs that reminder.